You want my powers, I will show you where they grow. You like the wind, I'll tell you where it blows. Clean as you go, clean as you go, clean as you go, yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Thunder 2004 and Armada Career Mode. We're heading to Martinsville, but before we go to Martinsville, I've got a little bit of a note to give you guys. So, as you know, Honda is in charge of everybody, and when I say everybody, I legitimately mean every Honda's motor this season. Well, finally, Honda has come through. Now, here's the fun part. They've taken some of our engines that we've been working with for most of the season and have finally given me an opportunity to get a boost of sorts. So we finally have a boost. They took our engines throughout the week. They took them on like as soon as we got back because we were in Georgia. They took them as soon as we got back to our shop and immediately took them to R&D and installed a few upgrades. Those upgrades now mean our engines are now specific to the track that we race at. Now that is a small issue for me because we've only got 4 engines. Now there are different track combinations out there. Road course, super speedway, and short track are the 3 different track types and track variants that we race on. They've turned 3 of our engines into those things now, or all 4 of our engines into those things, leaving one of them as a generic engine just in case we do something stupid. They've also gone in and gave us more power, but still can't address the efficiency aspect. So we do have more powerful engines. That's great. I'm happy about that. They also did a little repair on the most recent engine. And I'll show you guys all this here in a second. But we finally got some things working with Honda, and they're finally doing the work that they need to do to make sure that we are as competitive as possible. Now, in that same vein, it does feel like they may have rushed this a bit. I do personally feel like they could have done better. They could have done more. I'm gonna say it like that. I do feel like Honda could have done more. They could have addressed the efficiency issue that we've been experiencing. But I mean, I'll take more power any day. It's just not that great when you know that things should be much better for us at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna take you guys through the shop and show you guys what they've done. All right, so we're now in the engine shop, and they went and completed the work on the repair that we were working on, which is great. I'm happy about that. By the way, if you guys have noticed, I got sunburned, and I'm still peeling. So if there's any light spots on my forehead that you guys are seeing, that's why. And I'm pretty sure that's been happening for the last couple of episodes, but I'm just now finally talking to you guys about it. Where was I? Oh yeah, engines. So you guys only remember we're not allowed. I am not allowed to overhaul the engines, but you can probably tell that there has been a boost in power. Engine number 1 is now 69 power, but it's a generic. The short track engine is now 72 power, 57 efficiency, 78 power for the super speedway, and they've given us more power for speedways after the Atlanta race. They realized that we were there, we were just not there, if that makes sense. So that generic engine is probably going to go towards road courses as well as maybe short tracks, depending upon how bad we do. But I'm hoping that we've got something here with Honda in terms of improving the power because we were a little lacking at Atlanta. I will be real. I feel like we were lacking a bit. Not too much that it was very noticeable, but once those BMWs got by us, there was no keeping up. They were gone. So, yeah, glad they've been working on the engine side of things. I don't have to worry about that. We have track specific stuff. Even though we don't have track specific work in the engine department, I'm glad that Honda has done that for us and gone through and did that and made the engines a little bit better. So, really happy about that. That means that when we go to Martinsville, we'll actually have an engine built for short tracks, which is great. Now, All that's out the way. We can talk about the point standings. Tony Stewart is the points leader, and we are ninth in the standings. We need to continue to keep a forward trajectory if we're going to hope to even still remain relevant. So, coming into this race, I am going to use chassis number 3. And the only reason why I'm using chassis number 3 is because the tire grip is very important at Martinsville. I've seen this in the past where I don't bring a good gripped chassis, and next thing I know, we're struggling. Now, that does mean that we won't have this chassis available to us if I get it damaged too bad at a track like Las Vegas. I understand that there's an implication there, but this is way too early in the season for me to be making any compromises in some of the tracks that we are facing. Martinsville is a track that we can do good at, we can be decent at. We just need to actually have the car under us. So hopefully that will work. And now with the new short track engine, that should also help us because we'll have what we need. In terms of the fact that this is a short track, I am not intending to bring body number 3. I feel like that body will be used for Las Vegas. We'll bring the second best body that we have that we can currently use, which is body number 2, because we're still building the other one. All right. So there you go. A 65 rated car as we head to Martinsville, Virginia, for what I believe will be revenge. Because if you remember correctly, last season we didn't do so hot at Martinsville. You know, we weren't so hot. This season, hopefully, we're a lot hotter than before. So let's go. Before we get into the race, something has happened with the audio when it comes down to being on track. For some reason, we picked up like this really annoying buzzing. It's something that I noticed, and I'm letting you guys know now. I couldn't fix it without completely washing out audio. So there will be a situation throughout the entire race where you'll hear like a little faint buzz. I am very sorry. I don't know what caused it. This has never happened before in the recordings. So rather than just kind of pretend that it didn't happen, I decided to address it now, right before we get on track. So just letting you know in advance, it might be a little annoying. Just bear with it. It doesn't seem like this is happening in the next episode. I just can't figure out what caused it for this episode, and I really wish I could. I couldn't troubleshoot it at all, and I didn't know until after I was done with the recording. So I will see you guys on the track. And again, I apologize for the audio issue. It's really frustrating for me, and I know it's going to be frustrating for you guys. See you guys on the track. All right, green flag for our first lap of qualifying. Okay, we're doing decent. I mean, it's not great. I definitely feel the difference in the power. It definitely feels like this is a short track engine now. Coming off of 3 and 4. 22nd, not bad. Can be better. I knew this was going to be a track where we were going to struggle. I mean, it's Martinsville. We struggled here last season. So I had a feeling this was going to be the case. Car feels a little tight coming off the corner, so I'll make an adjustment, but I'll take a nearer the front starting. 8th place. Let's go.
Welcome to the MRN presentation of NASCAR Winston Cup Racing here at Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. And Barney, this is one of those tracks where the term Rubbins Racing says it all.
Yeah, the short, flat, and narrow surface causes a lot of cars to get together here. Sometimes it's unintentional, but usually it's a friendly reminder of who's running around you.
The 53 car has really turned up the intensity recently. I'm not sure the other drivers appreciate it.
They've been racing hard out there, and that's to be expected, but they better be careful the recent battles don't escalate into something more.
The 82 car must have had problems in qualifying this week.
Yeah, he's definitely not used to having to pick through traffic so early in a race. This could make it an exciting race for him, or it could be disastrous. You just never know when you start in the back.
Casey Mears brings another well-known racing name to NASCAR.
Well, he brings some talent of his own also, but having an uncle with Indy wins certainly doesn't hurt your chances of getting a ride.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
All righty, guys, here we go. 43 cars, 69 laps here at Martinsville. New engine package for the Hondas. And a BMW leads the field to the green. I've just realized that was Kurt Busch up there. and I'm just going to kind of file in, and we're just going to kind of go rank and file. My teammate is kind of stuck, hung on the outside here as I got the 9 car diving on me.
About 2.5 seconds in front of you. The 9 car is putting a block on you. Clear all around.
I do not appreciate Martin Truex Jr. for trying to drive through my car that time. I mean, that's great and all,
He's gonna make things tough on you.
but I need him not to do that. Car feels decent. It just doesn't have the same get up and go that I think I was expecting it to have. So, not very happy right now, as the 40 car is on my outside. Didn't realize that David Strimmy was there. I'm just trying to stay somewhat relevant in this race. Kurt Busch is taking off. So we're not doing that bad, but we're also not going forward. So this is definitely like Martinsville last season to me. I feel like maybe we really need to work on the chassis side of things, and I really can't wait for that chassis shop to come in. I mean, I could ask if Honda would help with the chassis. I just don't really want to overburden them because, well, we've seen what they've done in the past, and I feel like if they get their hands on our chassis, we're going to go backwards on tire wear, but we'll have the grip, and that's what I don't want. I mean, we saw that at the beginning of the season where they shared the data, and we were able to improve our chassis in the offseason, but I guess we're still a step behind everybody else. Got Dale Jr. pressurizing me.
Wow, you're fast. Clear.
Kurt Busch has already made it to the back of the field, but I'm probably holding, you know, the back half of the field all the way up at this point. Car just does not have the turn in that I need as Tony Stewart finally gets by.
You're clear.
I'm going to send a dive on Tony.
Try to keep him behind you.
That was a bad idea, as we are now basically going backwards. I am 26th.
You can't win a race if there's no car to finish with.
I mean, there was nothing for me to do. I probably shouldn't have tried diving it in on Tony Stewart. I turned harder left trying to avoid getting into him. So that's mostly my fault. But it looks like we are still in the lead lap. I will bring it down pit road for this caution. We'll go ahead and fire 4 tires at it. Make an adjustment to the setup. Maybe a tire pressure adjustment. There's not much we can do now. I mean, we're in the race, but I will tell you Jimmy Johnson is in the top 5. Steven is 16th. Joe is 20th. So, yeah, need to work on this car. So 2 pounds down on pressure. This is way earlier than necessary for a pit stop because we're only 13 laps in and no one else is following. And we're not even halfway on fuel. So you can tell that this is going to be another one of those races. I really need Honda to figure this out with the chassis stuff. Or it's either that or me. You know, we need to figure it out. We need to do something. I don't know. But the road courses and the short tracks are going to basically be the death of our team if we're not careful. We have a lot happening early in the season, and we really need to not lose so many points.
We're starting in the back, so be careful and stay out of trouble.
Yep. In 26th, out, dead last. Excuse me, Dennis Setzer, you're kinda in the way.
That pass was for position. Nice.
I have no idea why they all checked up, but that's okay for me because I just realized Kevin Harvick is back here
We're on both sides.
in 39th now. So we have the tires.
Number 10 is putting a block on you.
I'm not worried about Casey Mears. I mean, I could easily just wreck the guy. We are at Martinsville. Rubbings Racing, you know.
All clear back.
But I think the last time I got involved in some kind of petty rivalry at Martinsville, it led to me ultimately DNFing in the chase. So I don't really want to deal with that.
Still there. 19.
But I do owe him payback. Strimmy got into me again. I'm going to send Strimmy into a barrel.
We're faster than the leader. Let's get up there. Number 40 is down low.
Or not.
More of those laps. Good job. Clear.
I owe him payback. Short track racing is where it's at, you know.
Number 38 is up high.
trying to work my way around David Gilliland, but Gilliland has got the power off.
That was a great lap, buddy. All right. Number 10 is going to make it hard for you to get around him. You gain enough.
I mean, Casey actually moved over, so I didn't hit him.
You let him by, he's going to make things tough on you. The 10 car is inside.
And then he gets into my left rear quarter panel.
19.
I'll remember that.
That's it. That's the speed we're looking for. Clear all around. Number 10, down low. All clear, buddy.
Okay, so the car feels a little bit better.
1985. Whoa, that was a quick lap.
I make quick work of Jeff Burton here. Jimmy Johnson is down to 7th now altogether, which means he might be on the outside. And we're making moves through the field here.
Clear on both sides.
That early pit stop may have also set us up really well.
Talking about
No telling, obviously, but it might have helped. We'll just have to kind of see how things shake out.
best place for him is in your rear view mirror. All right.
As the 1 in the 82 trade paint.
82. That's a quick one, buddy. Keep it up. Hold it steady. 3 wide. Clear on both sides.
There's Mark Martin, 2003 NASCAR Cup champion Mark Martin. And we're up to 30th.
1990. That's the lap time I'm looking for. Keep it up, buddy.
David Reagan inherits the lead, handing the lead over to a Ford after BMW has led the last 22 laps.
Don't let him by, but try not to hold him up either. Way to get around him, buddy. 20, 21. You're flying out there, buddy. Good job. You're clear. Got one outside.
Like, this is always the nervous part right here. Pit stops have begun. It's Martinsville.
Still there.
Got Jeremy Mayfield pressurizing me, but we're up to 13th now.
Attaboy. Keep it smooth, just like that. Start out low. Clear.
I am going to possibly be the de facto leader here.
20, 46. That one was quick. Let's do it again. Number 18. Now
I'm going to be the leader with a large majority of the field a lap down.
okay, we're clear.
Perfect. I have no one else to worry about except for myself. Jimmy Johnson is currently the race leader.
1986. Come on, buddy, push it. We can pick up some more spots. Keep digging. Still need to pick up about 8 seconds off the leader. Your right front tire's wearing down.
So right now it's Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer, Ryan Newman, and Robbie Gordon, who is right in front of me. That's your top 4. Of course, I'm 5th. Reed Sorensen is behind me in 6th, and we have a caution in the middle of pit stops. I assume it was one of the cars coming off pit road. I assume it was one of the cars coming off pit road.
Catch up.
Who is it this time? The 6 car. Who's that car? Da-da-da. It's David Reagan. Reagan did that and is going to be credited with 10th, I believe. So, may have been a strategy move there. We will pit this time by, because I'm assuming Jimmy, Tony, Clint Boyer, and Robbie Gordon will all be pitting, so I'll pit too. This actually puts us 1 lap ahead of a large majority of the field. I believe Brian Vickers all the way back to Joe Nemechek, maybe a lap down. I do know that some cars were ahead of the leader at that point, so we'll have to see what happens. Kurt Busch is the biggest one because Kurt Busch was leading. He was 7th. So here we go, coming down pit road. This is where you could win and or, lose. Jimmy Johnson is the race leader. I've got the 7 car in front of me. And there we go. We've parked up. We're going to get 4 tires and fuel at it, and we'll see what happens from here. This is interesting. Very interesting. I really hope Jimmy came down pit road. I don't know if I saw Jimmy come down pit road. I mean, I see Robbie Gordon.
Less than half the field ducked onto pit road during that caution.
Digicam did not bring Jimmy down pit road.
Safety car is off, the field bunches up, and we are back underway. Green flag is in the air on this restart, and the field races its way down towards turn number 1. 44, 46.
I mean, I'm not mad at Digi for the idea to keep, you know, Jimmy out, because that means that the 2 car is not going to be ahead. But I am concerned about this decision from Digi not to pit Jimmy. And Tony Stewart's crew chief didn't pit him, and now Clint Boyer is going to, you know, grab the lead when those two do finally decide to pit. Or is Jimmy telling me that we actually had more fuel in the tank than anticipated?
Number 6 is outside. Clear. Blindside. Clear on both sides.
All right, Jimmy is on pit road. I just realized that Jimmy came down pit road. That means that now
Let's get up there.
Tony Stewart has inherited the lead.
6 seconds back. Let's get up there. Keep it behind you if you can.
And Tony Stewart is pitting now. Which means technically Jimmy can win this race if we all have to pit one more time. But he went 40 laps, which is astonishing, because does that mean that we have 40 lap worth of fuel? I need Robbie Gordon to chill, man. We're in the top 3. No point in fighting like this.
We got shuffled back to third. Keep digging. Number 6. Top 5.
That guy's just he's over ambitious at times.
All clear, buddy.
As we have a car that has an engine failure, that is the 46 of Dennis Setzer.
20, 48. That speed will get us to the front. Keep it up. Let's go now. Still 7 seconds off the lead. Start out low. Okay, we're clear.
The 42 is now on pit road. And pit stops have begun again.
You got some passes left in there somewhere. I know you do.
So this is good and bad, because Jimmy is technically a lap down, but he's in 10th. If Jimmy can get to me, and I'm hoping that Clint and or Robbie Gordon have to come down pit road
96.
and a caution falls,
Keep on it.
I will let Jimmy get his lap back
7 seconds.
if I somehow become the leader.
Keep an eye on your mirror. He's not too happy with you. Car inside.
I can't let Dale Jr. go by.
42. You're gaining on the leader. Clear all around.
All right, I can move up now. Jimmy's there.
Cars entering the track ahead. Be careful. Car low. Car looks up.
Oh, no. I spun my own teammate. I misjudged so badly.
22.
The good news is he's still in the top 10. The bad news is that he's a lap down.
We need to eat up this 10-second gap to the leader.
I'm such an idiot. I'm an idiot. Now, the good news is that Jimmy technically doesn't have to pit. He can stay out. If he stays out, he'll be ahead of the leader. I am going to pit because 4 tires and fuel are going to be important, especially because this will be like the last 19 or 20 laps. So I do feel like this is time for us to do the pit stop. I hope Jimmy stays out, and I'll have to apologize to Jimmy and Digi after this. So hopefully Jimmy stays out. He comes down pit road. Jimmy did not stay out. Jimmy's on pit road. I must have done some serious damage to his car for Jimmy to say, hey, I need to come down and get this repaired. So that's on me. Perfect plan. Down the window because I was just too much of an idiot.
Pace car's about to lap us.
I'm now going to sit here and watch this happen. How far are we going to fall, guys? I'm going to speed this up. I'll let you guys know what happens. Okay, in third, out fourth, we sped it up, and we're still in the lead lap. Actually, no, we're 2 laps down. Nope, we're on the lead lap.
Green flag is in the air on this restart, and the field races its way down towards turn number 1. 44, 71.
Seems like a large majority of us got stuck by the 96 car doing God knows what.
It's going high. The 1 car is inside.
Robbie Gordon is leading this race outright, so there's 2 Chevys that could possibly win this race,
Making up
and it's between the 7 and the 07.
number 6 is outside. Okay, we're clear.
The problem is Clint has to get through traffic in order for this to actually matter for him.
68.
There he goes. He's got past the 9. Clint Boyer's past the 9. He's now got to go after the 42, get past the 42, and then set his sights on the 7.
The 6 cars all over your back bumper. Clear off.
And we can't finish no lower than 3rd at this point, unless I DNF, obviously. But, I mean, the car is actually driving decent. It's just not, it's not race win. It's not a race winning car.
You're 4 seconds off the lead. Stay smooth. You can catch it. Okay, let's get after these guys now. Okay, time to go. The leader is about 6 seconds ahead.
I got into Jeff Gordon because he pushed me up the track. Actually, he drove up, and there was nowhere for me to go. And the 41 car is flipping, so we had a flip in Martinsville, guys. But yeah, Jeff Gordon went up the track. That's his fault. I take no responsibility at all for that caution. But I will bring it down for 4 tires and fuel, because why not? It's going to be a single file restart. I got the 7 and the 07 in front of me, which means I could possibly steal a win here. And when I say possibly, I mean I'd have to drive really aggressive. So here we go, green flag, and I'm immediately going to send it on Clint Boyer. It didn't work,
44, 77.
and I don't have the drive off that I would like, but I'm going to send it again. And now I can set after the 07 or the 7 of Robbie Gordon. Another deep dive into the corner. Just chip into his little lead here. He's trying to block me down low. I'm going to do it again. Let him know I'm here. Use the right rear quarter panel, push him up the track, and we now have the first race lead of Martinsville for ourselves. Now we just have to keep it and kind of drive away from Robbie Gordon, because lore accurate, Robbie Gordon and Clint Boyer are both some scary guys. And I think we're going to get it, because I just saw in the rearview mirror, I think Robbie Gordon got a little loose trying to get back on the power. He's trying to get back at me, but he got a little loose. He's also running much higher up the track, which means my call to get the 4 tires and fuel may have just paid out in a big way for us, which means huge results are ahead. Going to get back up into into a rhythm here. It's 1.3 seconds to second. We're going to get back up to speed. Come on. We're going to almost be there. 69 laps, and we're on lap 67. 2 to go at the line. I don't know about y'all, but my heart is pounding. 1.6 now over the 7 car. I think I may have possibly dented his left front quarter panel, which is perfectly fine by me, because here we go, coming down to turn 3 and 4 to get ready to take the white flag. A caution now ends it, obviously. And across the stripe for the final lap here. Into 1 and 2. 1.7 seconds ahead of second place. We're going to get off onto the backstretch. We're going to go down on the power, dive into turn 3 and 4. No pressure out the back. We've got this win. And it's a vengeance for Jimmy, who should have been up here winning this race, but we'll take the win instead. Huge for us. Let's go.
How about all those caution laps they ran?
Well, it was definitely a busy day for the Pontiac pace car driver. I really don't know why we had so many, just one of those races, I guess.
The 53 car now has one less friend in the garage area.
That certainly looks that way. I'm not sure who started everything, but it should be fun to watch over the next couple of races to see what develops.
Well, we won. At the expense of my teammate, Jimmy Johnson. But it was a very good call to take those 4 tires and fuel, especially to set up the race win that way. I'm also kind of surprised there was only 3 cars left on the lead lap. Now, diving into what's really important, the points in the way that this all finished. So we had only 6 lead changes from several different leaders, apparently. Kurt Busch led laps, Robbie Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, obviously, Clint Boyer, us, David Reagan, and Tony Stewart all led laps. So that's 7 different leaders, 6 lead changes altogether. We have 4 cautions for 12 laps. One of those cautions was my fault. Sorry. The 6 car had his own issue, and I had an issue with my own teammate. It was a problem. I may have been a slight problem today. May have been. But I'm not going to take too much responsibility for it. I'll take responsibility for the Jimmy Johnson part. I won't take any responsibility for anything else. So, we win. Robbie Gordon second, Clint Boyer third, David Reagan, Brad Keselowski, Joe Nemechek, JJ Haley, Kurt Busch, Bobby Labonte, and Stephen W1323 round out your top 10. Congratulations to Stephen. He is building some momentum with Tony Stewart's racing equipment, and I think he's definitely going to probably be an actual threat this season. Him and Joe, if Joe gets it back on the right foot. My teammate did finish 11th. He probably would have finished higher had he not been spun by me. I apologize again to my teammate for that. I do have good news for Joe. Anybody who's a fan of Joe right now, Joe finished 18th, which is not that bad for him. He did finish behind Casey Atwood, but that will help him in the point standings because that's 26 points, and that is actually more points than I think he's had up to this point of the season. Us winning gets us 58 points altogether, but that is 48 points. That is paling in comparison to Kurt Busch, who's going to still get like 46 despite finishing 8th. He got those 10 bonus points, and you can kind of see bonus points, laps led actually matters this season. So if you have the bonus points for the laps led, you have to be pretty much right there every single time. That's why the point system shifts so much. I mean, anybody near the back can lead a lap and finish well enough, and they'll just catapult themselves up compared to someone who doesn't lead a lap. This really puts more of an emphasis on leading laps. Last season, we had so many different drivers leading laps, and so far this season, it looks like we're kind of gearing up towards the same, which is really big, and I'm really happy about it. But we did win. I'm happy about it. Jeff Gordon did get spun off my nose. I'm not going to say that I caused that problem. I feel like he caused that problem for himself by getting tight. He finished 32nd, which is great. Points leader, I believe, is Tony Stewart, and Tony Stewart finished 22nd. in the standings, and that probably opens the door for someone else to move up. I just can't be too sure. And for those who are on Rival Watch, I didn't wreck him, but his lack thereof of strategy and just getting unlucky finished 41st, 4 laps down, because we raced to lap 69. He finished 4 laps down and 41st. He is one of 3 to have that happen. Kevin Harvick, defending series champion, 39th. I mean, again, big name back here near the back, and Kevin Harvick has been floundering much of this season. Him and Jeff Burton actually have been floundering, and yet Dale Jr. is like flying high in the top 15. So, surprisingly, that's not too bad. But I mean, it could be worse. They could actually be all back there, but we win. So now it's back home to Georgia, celebrate the win, talk with Jimmy Johnson, do a debrief, just let him know, hey, I wasn't trying to spin you. I just misjudged your break point, and I was trying to move down, and I hooked you. My bad. Yeah. Not that great for me. Wasn't a great one. Let's head home. When I next see you guys, we'll be taking on Las Vegas. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Be easy, everybody.